Hold up. Before we get stuck in, let's rewind a little bit. My name is D-Face, aka Dean Stockton, and welcome to the very first episode of D-Face Goes Racing, or as I like to call it, the art of racing. Now this is where art and adrenaline collide, a place where I take my designs off the canvas and onto the track, transforming cars into moving pieces of artwork, then getting behind the wheel and seeing what they can really do. Aided and assisted at times by my mate Oscar Joyce, OJ, The Juice, Pro Racer and Wheeled Demon. Here on this part of the channel you can expect everything from hand-painted race cars, bikes, helmets and behind the scenes builds to track days, competitions and the occasional near and not so near miss. For our first episode, we're rolling things all the way back to 2024 when I was approached by professional racing driver Oscar Joyce with the opportunity to do something a little different. Not only hand-paint his absolute weapon of a race car, but take my race licence and actually get behind the wheel of it myself and see what he can do at some of Britain's most iconic circuits. What started out as an idea to bring my artwork into the racing world quickly turns into one hell of a journey, one that's still unfolding today. So buckle up, sit back and come along for the ride. I suppose motorsport's always been part of my background. My dad was a mechanic, panel beater, sprayer. And I've long said I fell asleep to the sound of a compressor that was buzzing in the garage below me, and the smell of cellulose paint that he was using. And so I was always around cars, and so when you get to a point of where you can get a vehicle, 16, I got a motorbike. I wanted that freedom and escape. I wasn't really interested in driving cars, I was more interested in riding bikes, and then my mum was like, no, we're not going to help you, we're not going to look after you, we're not going to pay anything towards you having more motorbikes, it's like on you. And I was still at college, so it wasn't really tangible for me at that point. So she was like, but if you learn to drive a car, then we will help you insure the car. So I sold my motorbike to buy a car, which broke my heart at the time, I got to tell you, but I thought, what is the closest thing to a motorbike that's got four wheels? And it was a Mini. I don't know really. I feel like there's a romance in cars. My work follows a romance theme, obviously, and a narrative. And so it felt quite natural that I include a car component. I guess it's all autobiographical anyway. It's all of the paintings are drawn upon my feelings, either things I've actually experienced or things I've felt or I've seen, And so that plays out either immediately or over time. I can't say that was, the racing theme work, whilst it's been dappled throughout my work. Realistically, 2023 was when I focused on a body of work that was race inspired. From beginning to end, it was like all the canvases had a race component to it. I've just really enjoyed working on those pieces. There's a romance in nostalgic vintage racing, and there's a really nice narrative to play with people that put their life on the line. Racing's one of those things, That mural project. We're in Crossroads Cab, Peckham, on Bell End End Road. Questionable name of the road, isn't it? With Oscar, who is pro race driver extraordinaire. Is Oscar's dad on camera? We're not sure.
Yeah.
Hi. Oscar's dad's come as a French man.
My modest.
We're talking about a project we undertook last year, project that Oscar came to me with. I met Oscar in my gallery at Stolen Space, and he'd already embarked on a project using his race car. And he came to me and said, would you like to paint the car? I said, I'm interested in painting a car, but that's not that exciting. He said, well, okay, what about if we go around and do some track days? I was like, that's moderately interesting. He said, okay, what if we put you through your race license and then you race that car? And I was like, now we're fucking talking. We're doing something that I've not seen or heard of being done before. And so we embarked on that project last year. Obviously we painted the car, but then I did the race suits and we did the helmets as well.
Yeah.
So you put the whole package together. I kind of see it like it's a team, you know what I mean? I'm doing like the team artwork for the whole package of it. And the more I can get into the detail and nitty gritty of that, the more excited I get about it. I want to, that's my component to it. Oscar coming to this is from a professional racer's perspective, he knows how to pedal a car supremely. I have no idea about that, but I do know about painting things. Not so much about painting cars, but I do know about painting stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a challenge for both of us in a different way. The coolest thing to me is like bringing the art to the motorsport. Like Oscar's bringing the motorsport to the art, and I'm bringing the art to the motorsport, and that's kind of a cool partnership. You know, Oscar's coming from a racer's perspective with an interest in art. I'm coming from an artist's perspective, interested in racing. So hopefully we can meet somewhere in the middle. He can teach me how to race, and I'll teach him maybe how to paint. Or at least get him involved in painting.
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
You know what I mean? Like, we have talked about bringing Oscar on a mural project because one of the things is like I'm well outside my depth. You know, I'm well out of my depth here. I'm well outside my comfort zone. Oscar's well within his comfort zone. So I'm like, okay, let's try and switch that narrative. Let's bring him on a mural because he's scared of heights
And spiders.
and spiders.
You
So
saw her over there.
We're going to paint a mural of a
terrible.
spider that's like 5 stories tall. I like it, but it doesn't have any sense of speed. These are the concepts presented to Oscar and Nick Joyce of how the Radical could look. As you can see, plenty of concepts from very obvious painterly ones to more artistic techniques, methods, using checker flag to indicate speed, pattern work, just weird ones. I'm thinking of like a race car. And the opposite to a race car, making kind of hippie vibes. Ones that sort of mimic mirage, speed, tape, something wrapped up in painted tape, Union Jack because it's an English brand. Create a character out of it because the car's a bit of a beast. Let's give it that personality. So initially, sort of with a little pushing, we were in these two camps. I really wanted to do this one. I really wanted to see this one. This one practically would have been really hard to paint on that car. So we took that initial outline concept and expanded it further. Like, what does it look like from both sides, from overhead? How do we bring that character through further? I really like the idea of like this sort of paint slash slime coming from the teeth. Could be dribble, it's coming through the vents. Tongue on one side, gold tooth on the other. Obviously including the defaced wing. And then this sort of hazard kind of gives it a warning danger, but also makes it really prevalent and visible when you see it coming up behind you. Involved from that, trying to bring in the other elements. So we've got, you know, what does the race suit look like? How do we make these things tie together? So it's like a team livery. Obviously, I was doing a suit for myself, one for Oscar, so I had my defaced name on it. Oscar had OJ, which he did for him. I like the idea of holding fast, and the skull, lightning bolt skull, and then fake branding, fake logos down the sleeves. That was kind of the settled upon route. And again, how does that get brought into the helmet? Bringing some of that wet paint tape. I like that I did, like the helmet's gone through the tape. The personality of the teeth, so Oscar's helmet has different teeth to mine. I was walking through Peckham Rye Park, walking the dog in one morning, and I was like, oh, it'd be cool to give the whole thing like a team name. And I came up with Bite Me Racing, and it kind of, because of the teeth of the monster, it kind of sat. So Bite Me Racing was included in all of the suits and on the helmets. Hand painted helmet, hand painted car, digitally printed suits. But as an entity, it's like a race team. That was the idea. Okay, so let's get cracking and paint this beast. And this is where it all started to come together. No fancy spray booth, no pristine workshop, just a studio driveway, a few cans of spray paint, some enamel, and a lot of patience, and some sunburn. Not exactly textbook, but then again, neither is anything I'd do. There's something about working like this though, keeping it raw, a bit unpredictable, and letting the car take on a life of its own as the artwork builds up. and somehow it all came together pretty nicely. I did manage to get out in the car a couple of times in 2025, once at Silverstone in the rain, once at Brands Hatch, just enough to get a feel for it, start understanding how it behaves and scaring myself stupid. And as often the case is with motorsport, things don't go to plan. Timing got tricky, a few complications behind the scenes, and the project got stalled. Fast forward to May 2026 and we're back up to speed, and back out on track at the iconic Silverstone circuit. Needless to say, there were a few extra nerves.
Rather you than me.
Thanks, mate. That makes me feel good, doesn't it? Yeah, it's a weapon.
It's quick.
It's really quick. It's really quick. It's really quick through the corners. The thing is, on the straight, it's like, okay, that's fast, but through the corners, it's unbelievable. Like, yeah, through the corners and the braking, it's mind-bending. It's unlike anything else, Tom. That's the thing. It's a bit like a motorbike and a bit like a car, but the handling of something that you've never driven or ridden before.
I think he's very nervous.
When you turn in, the front will just almost avoid the corner.
I don't love that.
No, yeah, but the problem is there's so much
You should have told him, Oscar. You should have just let him drive.
Yeah, just go, you'll be fine. How you feeling?
Nervous. It's a common theme for racing. It's a common theme for my racing.
Oscar, what level of experience do you think people out there have got?
I'd say it's done more than Dean, 100%. It takes, well, especially here, I mean, this guy I've raced against for like 2-3 years alone. I'd say that, like, there's a very good understanding, but in a way it's a good thing, because if he's following someone else, you start to learn what other people are doing. You can see if you're going into a corner early and get a gauge of where you're at.
Absolute fucking mega car. Amazing, isn't it? The thing is that I forget about it, is like, is the corner speed. It's you can brake so late. Psychologically, you're like, man, I could have broken like fucking 4 cars later, and carry way more speed through that corner. You know, I'm coming out being like, I could have gone twice as fast.
Yeah, but okay. So now, next session you're in the car, just go that step more.
Yeah, a little bit faster.
A little bit. Don't just suddenly think and say, right, all I can go in another 20 metres later.
Build
just
up
build up to it.
I'm coming through here. I'm coming down here flat out, but I don't feel confident in going through that corner flat out. So, you know, for me to go through there flat out, I need to really build up to it. Like really get to grips with that corner. You know, the thing about that car is that you have to have faith in it, and it's performing best when you're pushing that downforce. You know, you're hard on the car, hard on the brakes.
So if you look at your throttle, you lift a little bit earlier than him, you brake the same as him, you shift him down, which is also a little bit earlier than him.
The only thing I can relate it to really is like, in my normal world would be, you know, the first wall I painted, which was 1 story high, you know, I was like nervous. The next one was 2 stories, I feel nervous again. 4 stories, nervous. 6 stories, and then when you go back to a 4 story room, you're really like, oh, okay, of course, we know what we're doing here, we've done this. You know, it's like every time you kind of have to take yourself out of that comfort zone, gain confidence, put yourself back in it. Like, I know the car can do it because I see Oscar do it, so I know the car can do it, but it's me. It's like the self-doubt and skill. I don't have it. It's that simple.
Not like you.
Ignition.
Carl is an old Mustang, lovely car, was burning a bit of oil on the outside of the circuit. I thought he'd seen me, I thought he was on the outside circuit because he was limping in. I'd come through the inside, I'd almost made it all the way through, and then he closes off and catches the back of the car, and that sends me round and off and spins. So that was the first. I'm sure it won't be the last, but I won't say it's the last. A nice. I mean, I think they look better for a bit of race wear, do we not? I'm sure he's pissed about it because he's got a really expensive Mustang. That's racing, isn't it? It's not even that. I know the car can do it, Peter. It's not even a question of knowing the car can the car do it. No, I know the car can do it. It's a confidence in myself to do it.
Do you want to do it? I'm asking.
Yeah, that's an interesting question, Peter.
When you was taught to ride a bike, you kept falling off, you got back on, yeah?
Yeah.
What's different?
Age.
150 mile an hour.
Yeah. A lot of speed and a lot of years.
I'm 74.
Let's see you out there, Peter. Let's have a go.
Oh, yeah, I would.
It's just it's a psychological barrier, and obviously, if you chip away at that, you gain. It's like anything, isn't it? You start at zero and you slowly improve over time. You know, you don't turn up tomorrow and be like, I'm a professional artist. It's decades of painting.
No, that's right.
You know, you don't turn up at a rock climbing event and go, I'm a professional rock climber. It don't happen that way, Peter. You know, and actually when I took my arts test and the guy was like, what are you thinking of racing? As I said to you, and I was like, I've been offered a driving a Radical. The guy was like, oh really? And I was like, yeah, and he was like, that's a really intimidating car. He's like, a lot of people don't get on with it. And he was like, you might want to start with something a little bit less extreme.
Yeah.
On the next episode of The Art of Racing, or D-Phase Goes Racing. The Radical is a weapon of a machine. Let's be honest, it's a serious bit of kit. More balls than I have sack. So where do I go from here? Now I've got a taste for racing, should I start looking for something a little more my pace? That leads me down a bit of a rabbit hole and into the world of grassroots racing, and a car I've had a long time love affair for, with an invite from the Mighty Minis families to go and give one of their cars a go at their secret airfield track. From there it's on to Snetterton with Oscar Joyce to see what this thing's really made of, before we decide if we're actually going to buy one. Do I buy it mine, or do I buy it with Oscar?